Hello and welcome to Following God's Plan. I'm Pastor Lindy and thank you so much for joining me in a brand new episode. As you know, episodes drop every single Thursday and I'm right here to share the Word of God and to also share what God is doing in my life and how He's basically leading me. So this week I have been a little bit under the weather, right? And not only me, like my daughter as well. And I think it's been quite a bit to get to recording today, And I think if I'm going to talk about my relationship with God, I'm definitely going to talk about that. That sometimes God doesn't require you to show up only when everything looks good, only when everything is in place, Sometimes you have to show up in your relationship with God even when you're uncertain. You have to show up in your relationship with God even when you don't know what's next. Literally, I think I hit that point about a month or two ago, and I was just like, I'm showing up every day, but I don't have a what's next. And what I had was an instruction. Okay, I had an instruction and I was well on my way to fulfilling that instruction the way that God had instructed me to do it. But what I didn't have was okay, so after that, what? It was literally, yes, this is the instruction. And then I was like, okay, what next? And God was just like, don't worry about it. And literally that is what it looks like to follow God, that you have to follow His will for your life, sometimes even without a roadmap. I think we some of us, not all of us, some of us are designed to know what's coming next. Some of us are designed to know, okay, this is what I'm going to do. This is how I'm going to set it up. I'm going to, and I'm one of those people. I literally plan my day as best as I can. I sit down, I schedule my day. I make sure that everything is in order. I know what I'm doing. I know what time I'm doing it as best as I can, and I think when you're following God, you literally have to allow yourself to be a planner in your everyday life, but on the big scale, on the things that God is doing in your life, on how you're following Him to reach purpose and how to come into His will for you, you need to let that go. Okay, so if you know, for example, that you work out every day at 5 a.m, please just understand that with God, you cannot say that I need to have a car by 30, I need to be married by 28, I need to have children by 27. God is leading you and guiding you according to His plan for your life. And a lot of it also is affected by our own decision making. I think I really want to touch today on allowing yourself to identify when opportunities that come into your life don't come from God. That is big. It's big because opportunities will look beautiful. Opportunities will look like they fit into our lives. Opportunities will look amazing. But the truth is that opportunity is not made for you. And the Lord knows why. God can see it all. God is looking and He's actively working to fulfill His will in your life. Especially if you are coming to Him every day and you are participating in your relationship with Him, then you know that, okay, God is working in my life. God is moving in my life. God is setting up the plan, right? On social media they love saying that like there's a meme that goes around that says I'll do the plan and then you just let me do the plan and you just come along, okay? And that really is what it's like with God, and hence this podcast as well. I just want to be in a space where I can show people that even with calling, even with identity, it is heavily following God. It is heavily knowing where God is taking me, right? Because it doesn't matter what space that you're in. It doesn't matter what God has called you to. There are pinnacles that you can reach in those spaces, right? And when you're not reaching those pinnacles, you begin to feel as though, man, am I really doing the right thing? Am I really doing what I'm supposed to be doing? And the answer to those questions lies in God Himself. It lies in your relationship with Him. It lies in how He treats you. It lies in the timeline. It lies in your decision making. How do you make decisions? Okay, so I think to break it down just a little bit further, first things first, when it comes to the will of God for your life, you need to hold a childlike posture. And that literally means that, first things first, whatever it is that you do, firstly ask Him. right? So the same way, if you're a parent, or from experience of being a child, whatever you need, you seek your parents, right? Whatever your kids need, they know we must come and ask mom first, right? I want to go swimming with my friends. Mom, can we go swimming? I want to go have a sleepover. Mom, can we, whatever it may be. As kids, we used to ask, and if you're a parent, your children ask you first, right? And it's the same way with God. You need to allow yourself to come to him and be like, God, there's an opportunity. I see it. It looks amazing. It looks like it could fit in my life. It looks like it's everything that I've ever needed. It looks like it's the next thing that I need in the puzzle, right? And you then have to humble yourself and literally allow for his response to come to you. Because sometimes when we don't allow ourselves to go down to that level, right? That level of I'm calm, I'm listening for what you have to say. We often then will want for it to be what we want. Like we want the answer to be what we want. If I don't calm myself and humble myself to what God is going to say to something, then I don't receive it the way that he intended. In fact, often then I begin that, last week, like we mentioned, some things will be all you. Then I begin to convince myself that, I don't know, God agreed, and I know God agreed because it all works. It works for my life. It's exactly what I want. Sometimes what God is gonna do won't be what you want. It'll be nice. Some things will just be like, okay, I mean, it's not that bad, but it's not what you want. You know what I mean? And I think I can relate. When God told me to move cities, I was just like, yo, that city. I was like, it's a nice city and everything, but it's not me, right? And what does that even mean? It's not me. Because again, my identity lies in God. Like everything that I do, is from him and through him and for him. And so when I was, met with that, at first I was a little bit resistant. I was just like, that city is nothing like me. Okay, first of all, the weather. Secondly, just no, and it took me really like coming back down and being like, okay, I may not like it, but I'm going. It may not look like what I want, but I'm going. I may have certain things that I have set for myself as goals, but I'm going, right? And that is the most important thing, is that you seek him so much that even when it feels like this is not the move for me, or even if it looks like this is not the right thing, that you're basically saying, God, you first. Whatever it is that you're having me do, I'm trusting the process. I'm trusting how you're doing it in my life. I think what also for me really influenced me to be this way was when I was reading in the Book of Kings. I think this was sometime last year. And I came across the story of Elijah and Elisha, right? And basically, just the introduction. Okay? Elijah comes, throws his coat on Elisha, and literally Elisha stops everything that he was doing. And he says, can I please just say goodbye to my mom and my dad, but I'm coming with you. I'm paraphrasing, but definitely check it out in the book of 1 Kings. Yeah. So what I'm trying to say is that that's the posture that God requires of us, that we be obedient to the point where even I feel like Elijah's saying, let me just say goodbye. That can be the bit of bargaining that you're going to do. And that's what I also did. I was just like, that's it. But eventually, I was like, yes, God. Right? And I think the sooner your yes comes, the more you're progressing on the path that he's building in your life. The sooner your yes comes, the more you are going to where he's taking you. Right? And that's how the will of God plays itself out in your life. Do you have a childlike posture? Do you require God's permission to do certain things, right? Because not everything is going to be for us if we're going to be children of the Spirit. Not everything is going to be for us if we're going to be led by God in everything that we're going to do. Not everything is going to be for us if we're going to work for God and be for God. Not everything is going to be for us. There are things that we literally have to say no to. And when God revealed this to me, I actually began to realize that this is true freedom. True freedom is knowing what is for you and what is not for you. There are things that are going to look and feel like they're definitely for you, right? But your ability to say no, your ability to decline certain things, even if it looks like, yes, this is definitely for me, right? Your ability to decline, your ability to know when to say yes, when to say no, and to know when to where those parameters are in your life, that is true freedom. Because now you're not only living from a place of I get to do whatever I want, you're living from a place of I know what I should be doing and I know what I definitely should not be doing. And that is true freedom. There is freedom when you follow God. That kind of freedom is the true freedom, because we've been convinced that freedom is doing whatever you want to do. But having rules, the rules that God sets for us, knowing what works for you and what doesn't work for you, knowing who you are and who you are not, knowing what you should be doing, what you should not be doing, right? And that can be anything, from the work that you do, from the friends that you socialize with, from the places that you go to. It's okay to say, that doesn't work for me. I'm not going there. I'm not doing that. I am doing this. I am going there. These are the places that, you know what I mean? Not everything that comes up is going to be for you. And I don't just mean things of the world. Like, there are some events that are, even in the Christian space, that not every event is for you. What is the theme of the event? What is it addressing? How far are you in your own relationship with God? How much of the work are you doing? Right? Because when God sends you to an event, it is literally because there is something that you need from that. There is something that needs to be imparted in you. The same way with friends. God knows the friends that you need. He'll send you friends if you don't have any. I'm testament to that. But yeah, I think if anything, to be obedient is to truly know when you know that God is the one that determines what I do and what I don't do. God is the one. He sends me and I go. He leads and I follow. So yeah, I'm going to leave you on that note today. I hope that you have an amazing week. I hope that God is good to you. And I hope that in your pursuing your relationship with Him, you come down to a childlike posture and you really seek Him for who He is, for what He's doing in your life, and how He plans to work through you. That you allow Him into your heart, because He loves you with everything. Okay, be blessed.